Okay, I call this regular council meeting to order, and could we have a certification of a quorum, please?
Mayor Jason Knight.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Randy Haskins.
Here.
Councilmember Ruth Camarillo Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Elise Chacon.
Here.
Councilmember Luana Martin.
Here.
Mayor, there is a quorum of the council present to conduct this meeting.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Now, will everyone please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance?
We gather today in service to our community, to seek solutions, to listen, and to lead with integrity. May the decisions made in this room reflect fairness, respect, and the well-being of all residents. Guide each member of this council with wisdom. Help us to be mindful of those without a voice and to lead with humility and courage. Bless this city, its leaders, workers, and citizens. May peace, prosperity, and understanding grow within our neighborhoods. In gratuity for the opportunity to serve, we ask for strength and discernment in all that we do. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now we're going to move into announcements.
We have one announcement today, and that's the National Night Out. That's tomorrow, Tuesday. It's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. This year, the block party will be held at the Aransas Pass Housing Authority. It's a great time for us to come together as a community to meet our neighbors and connect with our local law enforcement and first responders. So we hope to see everyone there tomorrow.
All right.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add, Chief Perkins, about the event tomorrow?
No, ma'am. This is just a tradition that I think I spoke about this last time. We're going to see how it works this time. That's how we really want to work this for each National Night Out, is having the block parties and then the officers go to the block parties.
Yeah, I agree with that. Thank you, Chief. Okay, now we're going to move into citizens' comments.
Been a long time, sir.
I was going to race you. Afternoon, guys. I'm here to talk again about the mother that was illegally arrested, assaulted, tased, and mocked by APPD supervision for trying to get her child off the bus. APD treated her as guilty until proven innocent, which it should be the opposite. They did not complete an investigation. I told you about it. You didn't bother calling me. Council, I noticed you had something about the agenda. Again, I would like to be put on the agenda, and I can prove that APPD violated that girl's rights and did not investigate that crime. So, facts. APD based their detainment off of hearsay, third-party hearsay to be exact, and then attempted to cover their tracks by starting an actual investigation weeks later. The mother was never identified on the phone call by the third party, ever. So they had no identification, just targeted a mother getting the child off a bus. Illegal. Without probable cause, suspicion of a crime, cannot be detained. The mother was smart enough to know that and tried to de-escalate numerous times, and your officer bullied her. And then what did they do? Illegally detained her. Now, she messed up once she was legally detained and started talking her mouth, but she should have never been detained. Again, I brought this to you months ago. You never bothered to reach out. Even if APD correctly investigated the mother being tased, you stood up right here and just praised to Jesus, right? Would Jesus have stopped, detained, arrested, and tased the mother and then had one of her supervisors mock her? Would Jesus do that? The answer would be no, Jesus would not do that. He would have did the right thing, got the child off the bus, and gave it to the mother. Quit praying to Jesus if you don't believe in that shit. How many parents in this town have stopped kids from getting off a bus or stopped the bus? I know I have. Bus drives by and passes up my house. I wave them down and stop them. You gonna throw me in jail? You see how stupid that is? Even if a child on the bus, sometimes the bus passes up their house and they stop the bus. Are we gonna arrest a 17-year-old or 16-year-old stopping the bus? Are we gonna beat them, tase them, and make fun of them, mock them like Luker did? Your supervisor, Luker, made fun of that mother for what happened. You didn't do anything about it. I expect better from APPD. If you don't have the guts to do what's right, Mr. Perkins, maybe you don't need to be here. Either you don't have the guts or you're part of the problem. And I hope you understand that. If you don't, you can call me anytime. Mary, you're responsible for him. I love you to death, Mary. I think you do a good job. But when you have pieces of shit like this that take over and don't do what's right, you need to fire them. Find somebody that has the guts to do what's right and stand for their community and not bury their heads between their legs and look the other way with Officer Luker. Hierarchy. Mary takes care of him, y'all take care of Mary, right? That's how it should work. Again, I don't have issues with Mary, but Mary's in control of whoever sits there. I'd expect a better evaluation of that. And like I said, I can prove it if you want. And he didn't do shit about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak? Okay, then we'll move into the consent agenda. And it'll be for approval of June 13th, 2025 workshop meeting, June 16th, 2025 regular meeting, June 18th, 2025 special meeting, June 23rd, 2025 special meeting, and July 15th, 2025 special meeting minutes. And do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve of the June 13th, 2025 workshop meeting, June 16th, 2025 regular meeting, June 18th, 2025 special meeting, June 23rd, 2025 special meeting, and July 15th, 2025 special meeting minutes.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're going to move into disannexation of Jacoby, or 520 Jacoby Lane. And public hearing for the disannexation of certain property commonly known as 520 Jacoby Lane, Aransas Pass, Texas, 78336. Aransas County, property ID number 14318, being a legal description of lot number 33, block 216, Burton and Danforth subdivision, Aransas County, Texas, according to the plat thereof recorded in volume pages 62 through 63, and I declare this public hearing open at 6:07. Do we have anybody wish to speak on this? Council have any questions? Okay, and I declare this public hearing closed. And now we're going to consider an act to take action to approve a resolution accepting a disannexation petition submitted by Jeffrey Olson, the property owner of an area of land commonly known as 520 Jacoby Lane, Aransas Pass, Texas, 78336, Aransas County, property ID number 14318, being a legal description of lot number 33, block number 216, Burton and Danforth subdivision, Aransas County, Texas, according to the plat thereof recorded in volume 1, pages 62 through 63. And do we have, did you want to speak on this?
Yes. Mayor, Council, this is a process that kind of goes back to 2019 when this property here, Jacob Lane, 520 Jacob Lane, was part of a voluntary annexation into the city. There was a bigger part that was annexed around that time, and when that bigger parcel of property got annexed, Jacoby Lane, 520 Jacoby Lane, at that point filed a petition asking to be voluntarily annexed because he had been left out of that annexation. Okay. Subsequent to all this, once the properties got annexed, subsequent to that, what happened is that the big chunk of property, the big parcel of property, was disannexed through court proceedings. However, this property remained, was still out there. Okay. This property has subsequently changed ownership, and the new owners have bought this property here, I think in 2023, I believe.
22, I believe.
2023, 22. And I noticed that they're still part of the city. The good thing is that the city hasn't been, they haven't been paying any city taxes, things like that. So, and we haven't extended services out to that location. So this is not going to cost the city anything.
No cost to the city.
So other than that, I mean, we just need to clean the slate and make it part of the disannexation.
Okay. All right, well, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve a resolution accepting a
disannexation petition submitted by Jeffrey Olson, the property owner of an area of land commonly known as 520 Jacoby Lane, Aransas Pass, Texas, 78336, Aransas County, property ID 14318, being a legal description of lot number 33, block number 216, Burton and Dan, 4th subdivision, Aransas County, Texas, according to the plat thereof, recorded in volume 1, pages 62 through 63.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now, consider an act to adopt an ordinance disannexing certain property commonly known as 520 Jacoby Lane, Aransas Pass, Texas, 78336, Aransas County, property ID number 14318, being a legal description of lot number 33, block number 216, Burton and Danforth subdivision, Aransas County, Texas, according to the plat thereof, recorded in volume 1, pages 62 through 63, and reducing the boundary limits of the city by removing the described property from the city limits, providing instruction for filing the ordinance and correcting the official map and boundaries of said city, providing severability and cumulative clauses, and providing an effective date. And do we have a motion and a date?
I make a motion, we consider an act adopting the ordinance disannexing, annexing, whatever, certain property commonly known as 520 Jacoby Lane, Aransas Pass, Texas, 78336, Aransas County, property ID number 14318, being a legal description of lot number 33, block 216, Burton and Danforth subdivision, Aransas County, Texas, according to the plat thereof, recorded in volume 1, page 62, 63, and reducing the boundary limits of the city limits by removing the described property from the city limits, providing instruction for filing the ordinance and correcting the official map and boundaries of said city, providing severability and cumulative clauses, and providing an effective date of, is that today?
Effective today.
Today be October 6, 2025.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now we're gonna move into action items. And consider an act on approving a resolution supporting the San Patricio County Industrial Growth Plan and urging the San Patricio County Commissioners Court to adopt the plan and incorporate its recommendations into its county economic development policy.
Let me just say before, Mrs. Eman is here, but before that, I just wanted to add that in 2019, the city passed a resolution in support of development of an industrial master plan, and since then, the county has been working in the development of this plan, of the draft industrial growth plan. The plan outlines strategies for future industrial development. Ms. Eman from the she's the mayor of Ingleside on the Bay. She was instrumental in the plan's development, and she's here tonight to answer any questions that the council may have and to give a plan overview.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm Joanne Amon. I'm mayor of Ingleside on the Bay in my daytime job. I'm here to kind of go over the concept of the master plan and answer any questions as y'all have. When we started this process, it was actually earlier than 2019. It was probably first approached about 10 years ago, but we didn't get earnestly on the plan until right before COVID hit, and that put a wrinkle in the deal. But this is basically a county plan. The county does not have zoning ability like the cities do, so they can't zone the land to be industrial, residential, whatever. And this plan was conceived to try to help the cities with what their growth plans were for the future, and I think most of the cities in our county have what they call a master plan. And that's something that's updated, hopefully on a regular basis as things happen and change. The plan is just that. It is a plan. It's not anything that's written in stone. It can be changed. It can be updated. Parts of it can be done away with. They can be revised, and hopefully that'll happen as we go along. What we're asking for you to do tonight, and we're asking of each one of the cities in San Patricio County, to adopt a resolution to encourage the county to adopt this plan and incorporate whatever means are necessary to help kind of guide the future industrial and commercial growth inside the county. Does not affect what each city is going to do. Each city has their own zoning ability. If an industry wants to come in and the property's not zoned correctly, that's up to you all to decide if that's a good fit for the city or if it's not a good fit for the city. The county doesn't have the responsibility of that. You all have that within your city limits, and in some cases in your ETJ. It just kind of depends on what type of a city you are and so on. But that's basically what we're trying to do. The plan was we hired a consulting firm, AECOM, or not we, the county did, to pay for this plan. I will tell you that it cost $300,000 to put this plan together. The county paid half of that, and industry partners paid the other half of that. The cities initially were going to have to buy into this plan, but fortunately we were able to raise the money without asking the cities to put their money in it. So, I mean, that's a good thing for most of the cities. Money's hard to come by these days. But I'm here to try to answer any questions that you all might have. I don't know if you had a chance to review the plan. What will happen is after we get as many cities as we can to approve the resolution to ask the county to adopt the plan, then it'll go before Commissioners Court and they will adopt it as is. They can make changes to the plan if they choose, and then they'll go from there.
I guess one of mine would be, was there any type of environmental impact study done to attach to this?
There were some environmental concerns that were raised, but no, because it's not a plan to say if your industry is this type, then we want you to go there.
Yes, I understand that.
Basically what happened at the very beginning is each one of the cities had an opportunity to sit down together.
Mm-hmm.
And each one reviewed the maps of their boundaries at that time, and that was around 2019, 2020, and make any changes for any future growth that they saw. If you were planning on annexing property, that was kind of taken into consideration. Those maps were provided by the RTA and or the MPO. And they were very instrumental in trying to bring all the information together as far as the mapping and everything was concerned. So each city had a chance to say, you know, this is what our boundary is right now. We'd like to grow. We want to grow in this direction. So we don't want any industrial growth to impede that. So let's exclude that from being a good property to look at. Basically, the only thing that the county has to offer as far as approving or disapproving an entity, a company that wants to come in, is tax abatements, since they don't have any zoning.
Yeah.
And most new commercial industrial developments that come in want some kind of a tax abatement. And so along with this plan, I think there are some recommendations for the county to look at to redo or revise some of their abatement policies so that if a company comes in and says, I want to be over here, and the county says, well, that's not a good place because Aransas Pass wants to, you know, they've got that in their future plan. So we're not going to give you a tax abatement if you go there. Now, that's not going to stop them from going there if that's what they want to do. but it kind of gives the company a little bit of incentive, hopefully, to look a little bit harder at that piece of property and maybe locate over here instead where they can get an abatement. Abatements are not end-all, do-all, and every company doesn't necessarily want one.
What does that do for us if they want that property over here and the county says no, Aransas Pass wants to keep that, and they say, well, we want it anyway? Does
Then
Aransas
they,
Pass have any say-so? in
free
it?
market, they can go ahead and buy it and put up the property, put up the company, if it doesn't violate any of your rules that you might be able to impose on that piece of property. It's not going to stop anybody necessarily from coming. It's just kind of a guide to say, you know, if you want tax abatements and if you want to be a good neighbor, we'd like you to go over here rather than over here, but that's not, I mean, you know, it's a free market, so.
That's what's got me on this one's the tax abatements, because it was a couple years ago, we had a meeting at the Civic Center, and I heard from a couple of the county commissioners that said, we're done with tax abatements because we missed out on over $900 million. And you know as well as I do, they keep throwing out all these tax abatements. County's got to bring in money because the prices keep going up, and who's going to end up footing the bill? The taxpayers. That, I understand tax abatements are what small cities like us should be doing. I don't support the county just giving tax abatements out left and right like they have been to industry.
Well, in the county, and the properties that are in the county and are not within a jurisdiction, a municipal jurisdiction, you don't have taxing authority on that.
I know.
On that particular
Yep.
piece of property anyway.
Yep.
But yes, the county gives tax abatements to bring industry in, to bring business, to bring people, to bring dollars, sales tax, you know, manufacturing, all that.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily going to stop anybody. I mean, that's not the idea of the plan. The plan is just to help guide the economic development people and say, look, you know, you're looking at 3 pieces of property. This one's really good. We like that. It's out in the boonies and it's not going to bother anybody, and you're not near a school, you're not near a neighborhood. This one over here is not so good. This one we don't like at all. But it's still up to the company to decide which one of those they want to do. And if they don't want to ask for a tax abatement, they don't have to.
Yeah, and I guess one of the other ones is the big elephant that's been in everybody's house when it's news time is water. I mean, nobody can guarantee when we're going to have an adequate water supply, when our reservoirs are going to get replenished. I mean, this is pretty hard for me as a mayor to get behind for that one reason. And I know the other reason is why is this so, I know this is time sensitive. The commissioners want this passed by the end of the month, and because that's what was told to me, and I was curious what the truth is behind that.
Well, I think the big thing there is that it's just been going on for a long time. It's been going on since at least 19 when we first went out for the RFP. So, you know, 6 years is a long time to have something laying on the table and not finished.
It is, but like we got a new council up here, and these guys are just in the dark on this. We've got people in the audience that are just now hearing about this. And I know I wasn't part of it originally, but I mean, there's a lot of this I didn't know about, and I've been sitting in that seat since the end of 2020, and the citizens, they don't know anything about this until it just popped up, this agenda popped up online. And I mean,
Can I ask for clarity?
Pardon me?
Can I ask for clarity? I also make sure I understood correctly. Are you asking Aransas Pass itself to hold on or to reserve 100,000 acres for this?
No.
Or is that in totality?
No. The plan is not asking anybody to hold on to anything. The only jurisdiction, or the only thing that you really, as a city, have jurisdiction over is whatever is in your boundaries. If you annex more property, then you have jurisdiction over that as far as zoning is concerned, whether you zone it commercial, industrial, residential, you know, whatever you want to zone it. And I don't know what your rules are when you annex property, how it comes into the city. A lot of times it comes in as a residential, and then you can go from there and change it if you wish. The county doesn't have that availability. So no, we're not asking anybody to reserve anything. The thing that the map tries to do is show what are the existing boundaries of the municipalities right now as they were whenever we started this process. 'Cause I don't think too much has changed. Portland may have annexed some property that they had on the books. I'm not sure that any of the other cities have done any annexation since we started this. But basically to show them on the maps what your boundaries are and where they cross, where they meet, you know, what you have jurisdiction over and what the county has jurisdiction over. And there's a lot of vacant land that's in the county that is not governed by any city. So that land, I mean, as well as anything in the city, because an industry can come in and say, I want to buy, you know, the harbor down there. That's up to you to decide if it's a good fit for you or not. And you have zoning regulations that can say, we want this here, you can't build this here, you can't build that. The county doesn't have that. So we're not asking in the plan for anybody to reserve anything for any kind of development. That's up to each one of the cities.
Ma'am, does that include the ETJ area?
Yeah.
Does
I
it-
mean, the ETJ area is, a lot of cities don't have any ETJ availability. And I know Ingleside on the Bay doesn't.
No, we do.
But if you have an ETJ, you have the option of annexing that land if you so choose.
Well, if we don't annex it though, does it leave it wide open for them also? Okay,
Yeah.
does it depend on the type of business that wants to go in there? Do we have a say-so in that?
The city does within your boundaries, yes.
No, I'm talking about the ETJ or.
I
outside.
don't know. You'd have to get a legal opinion on that. I don't really know.
What if
I
it's
know
just
that
in the county?
ETJ does not belong to you. You have I think you have the option of annexing that property if you choose. But I don't think until you really annex it, you have any jurisdiction over that.
Oh, not
I'm not
unless we
sure.
enter into an industrial district agreement, that'd be the only way we'd have some kind of say-so.
My
Well,
question is-
if you form an industrial district, you have some kind of say-so over that, yes.
My question is though, if somebody comes in here and wants to put this water plant that we just failed, desal, I'm sorry, thank you, the desal plant over here, and we don't want it, can the county do it anyway?
Well, yeah, I guess they could. But I don't think the county's going to be in the water business, personally.
Well, I think that's what's very scary to all of us, is kind of like the harbor. We're not going to lease it to one person to do whatever they want. This is the same type of situation. And going back to what Jason said or questioned, the timing of this and why it's being rushed, I've found in my experience that when somebody says, here, sign this, it's never a good thing. May I finish? I think there's just too much uncertainty with not only the new city council, but with our constituents in general. And I would be more open to this if, one, I don't want to make Aransas Pass industrial and become an industrial city. We are a fishing town. We are a tourist town. I'd be more open to it if there was a guarantee that whatever industrial was going to come in was 100% fully self-contained when it comes to water, because they use a lot of water, and obviously we're under a severe water shortage right now. But more so, this is such a huge decision. I think this needs to go to our voters and get their input versus city council roll the dice at how this would go. That's just those are my feelings towards this. I think this absolutely 100% needs to go to the voters if city council decides that would be the best bet.
I don't
We
think
have to go to all of Sam
Yeah,
Pat.
we can't do that.
They was the residents of Sam Pat, were any of their opinions, and did y'all consult with them and the people, the property owners near the areas where y'all were
No,
saying?
I don't think so. Because
That's a concern to
this
me.
is a master plan of the county. So the partners in the county who have jurisdiction is not the property owners of the land.
Well, like you said, it could be amended and changed and all that. Isn't it kind of then just a waste of money for the county to be doing this? That if y'all can amend it at any time and say, oh, well, this wasn't actually in our plan, but let's just say another steel manufacturer likes this other piece of property over here, and they're saying, well, we're just gonna add it to the plan now. You know what I mean? It kind of defeats the purpose.
And I guess that'd
And
be my
nobody was,
question.
nobody was consulted, and the residents of the county weren't. But
Well-
it just seems like it was a lot of money spent, and I've attended the meetings. I've only been up here a short time, but I've attended the meetings for years, and I've never heard anything about this before. So it just seems like a lot of information, and
And that's
few
your,
minutes
if you want to take more time to review it, that's perfectly fine. I don't think that hurry up and sign it is exactly, we were just trying to, the steering committee and the people who've been involved with this for the last 6 years.
if we don't approve it, just us, what does it do? Anything to y'all? It still goes through because it's county.
Well, what the resolution is that you are asked to approve is to ask the county to consider the plan.
Right.
It has to go before the Commissioners Court, and they have to make a decision whether they will adopt
So
this
y'all would just go
plan
and
or
say,
not.
these cities are for it, these
Right,
cities are against.
and
then
that's
they
all we
still-
would do, is we're saying, Portland approved the resolution, Ingleside on the Bay approved the resolution, Odom is, I mean, all the cities are
But it
looking at
doesn't
the
really
resolution.
protect any of the
But
land.
all that is doing is asking the county to consider it. The county does not have to have the city's permissions
Right.
at all. I
Right.
mean, they can just adopt the plan if they choose. But, and there has been some pushback from some of the people on the, at Commissioners Court. And so, as, I'm also the chairman of the Mayor's Coalition of the Coast of Bend, which is the 9 cities that make up in Sampat County and a couple of other cities. And we are just trying to have a common voice. If you do not feel that this is right for you, then that's your prerogative. You don't have to approve the resolution. I'm not saying it's not going to mean anything, because it will be, Aransas Pass has
Says
some
no,
concerns.
right.
And if you want to explore those concerns and bring it back at a later date, that's fine.
I think my biggest concern is that even if this was something where we think, okay, this is trying to navigate where we would put big industry for the whole county, and I'm not really, it doesn't affect us inside the city limits too much, so I'm not worried about that, but I'm thinking as a county resident here, that in all reality, it does nothing, because if big industry wants to come in, basically the county's gonna say, well, put it before the commissioners or whoever anyways, and so I just feel like the map was a waste of money. I feel like all of this is, and I feel like that the public wasn't aware of it. I think y'all have probably done a lot of work. It's obviously been 6 years, but I just don't know if it's gonna do anyone any good by agreeing to it. I think that it feels,
And that
you know, that's
You
my
have that-
problem with it.
that right.
Mayor, can I
Yes,
ask you
sir.
a question? You obviously are in favor of this. Can you tell me why?
Well, I think that it at least gives us a starting place. Right now, the county has nothing to help guide them where the cities would like to see industry go or not go. And I think that was the basic premise for doing this study, is to help the county get a little bit of insight as to what the city's concerns were as far as location of industry. It's not going to stop an industry from coming to county property. I agree with that wholeheartedly. If the county has the money and they don't have to ask the county for any permission, they just go buy the property, they get their permits, whatever they need from TCEQ, EPA, FERC, whatever.
If they do that, or if it passes through the county, where are they going to secure their water from? Where are they planning to
Well,
get the
the
water from?
water and the electricity, water and power right now are the big bugaboos.
Okay.
That's not, it
But
hasn't
20
always been the case, it's
2019
not always going to be the case.
It wasn't a concern, but now we're there.
Okay, but the county does not try to locate industry, well, the county doesn't really even try to locate industry, period. You know, the industry goes to the county and says, we're looking at this 50,000 acres over here, and this is what we want to build. Will you give us a tax abatement? That's basically what their ask to the county is.
Okay.
Now, the economic development people and the cities, of course, and the people who are trying to locate industries are very concerned about the water and the power. And I think the reason this plan did not address those, first of all, it wasn't a concern, a big concern in 2019 when we started. But it's something that is very fluctuating. Hopefully we'll get out of this mess sooner than later, however we get out of it. It just gives the planners a place to start. It is not an end-all, do-all. I don't know, does the city of Aransas Pass have a master plan for their community?
We do.
And you're supposed to update it every 5 or 6 years. So it's the same thing. You have a master plan that says, we want to do A, B, C, D. When you review it and you 5 years there, let's get rid of D, it's never going to happen. So now we're going to do A, B, C.
Yeah.
So it's just a plan. It's not written in stone. It can be changed.
So the amendment.
But it has to go through a
That's what
process
I was
by
gonna
the city council.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Oh, not
By your planning committee, your planning and zoning people, whomever it is
Well,
that
no,
helps you
I
write
think
the.
she's talking
No.
about
No,
the
I'm
county.
talking about-
How would
Yeah.
this change?
On the county plan, who has authority to amend it and how
The
often?
commissioners,
Commissioners Court.
the commissioners court.
And then I have a question too. So the areas y'all picked on here that look like your more ideal spots for industry, does that give it an easier pathway for industry to come in to those areas?
Not necessarily.
Like if they
You
were,
still own the property. If you don't want to sell it to them, you don't have to.
but does it, is there any kind of regulations or anything that's written in here that says what kind of industry? Nothing at all, so.
No, because the county doesn't have that
Yeah, 'cause they don't have
authority.
the
County
authority.
doesn't have
I'm just
zoning.
afraid too that this just says, I would be, and I don't know for sure, but because I'm, maybe you can answer, is that this would give an easier pathway going, oh, well they put this as their area, no problem, we can go in here.
Well, and if they can secure the land and secure the
Yeah,
permits
and
for
which they
whatever their
usually
thing
can,
is,
they've got the
yes.
money, yes.
Some people I think would probably maybe perceive it that way, but that's not the idea of the plan.
That would be
We're not
a
trying to
big
say,
concern.
there's 100,000 acres over here, and anybody that wants to can come in and build whatever.
But
they
it
want.
would be easier than picking a spot that wasn't on that map.
Well, it'll make it easier because if every city in a county supports something like this, any industrial
They're just
owner's
picking
gonna
those-
look at that.
So- and
stuff
say,
and go, I'm not gonna
nobody
do South
supports us
Virginia.
being here, so
Yeah.
maybe we need to rethink this.
Yep.
Mayor, one other thing.
Uh-huh.
You're on the bay the same as we are. You depend on the fishing and the tourism and all of that also. I can see Odom and Mathis and all of them, or all of them up in the upper part of the county, this not bothering them at all. But to me, this is gonna affect down here.
Well, I can tell you as Ingleside on the Bay, we are already surrounded by industry.
But
There is no, well, there is on
Yeah.
Enbridge property. There is still some place they can build something. But we are surrounded, and we had no say-so whatsoever in any of those,
Mayor, what effect
Industries.
did it have on you?
pardon me,
What effect did it have on your city?
the industry?
I mean, I don't go fishing at Ingleside on the Bay. I've never been there. But I fish here and Rockport and Ingleside itself. And I know a lot of other people do, but did it
Well,
affect you any over there?
It kind of depends on who you ask. If you ask somebody along the waterfront, it's affected them very much adversely because of the ship traffic. On the upper end of IOB, there's no effect other than we're surrounded by Tank Farm, Kiewit.
Or, yeah. But do we want to be that way? I don't think so.
I don't think anybody chooses to be that way.
I think if
Like I
it-
say, we didn't have a say-so. It just happened.
No, I know y'all been working on this a while. It's just that it's like you could see in the future back then. This is just bad timing. I mean, the
Do we have any,
biggest thing
could we
I'm
say,
looking at is water
Yeah.
supply. I mean, there's.
maybe,
And like I say, that's not really addressed in the plan because
Yeah.
it's not that we're trying to say, if you have an industry that only uses 15,000 acres and only uses, 300,000 gallons of water a day, come on. I mean, we might say that to them, yeah, come on, because you're not gonna use up what little resources we have. But this plan is not, it's not designed to do that. Yes, ma'am?
Could we just see if we have any questions from our citizens
Sure.
on this?
Yeah.
Sure.
On anybody have any
I'll try to
questions
answer
or
whatever-
comments that they
whatever
would
you
like to
ask.
ask? If you could go to the,
Yeah,
Well, I
come
have
up
more
here.
of a statement.
Okay.
Questions.
could you just introduce yourself?
Good evening, council members. My name is Maria Holloran. Some of y'all know me by my nickname Meadow, and I'm a resident here of Aransas Pass. I'm here today because I'm concerned about the San Patricio Industrial Growth Plan and what it could mean for our community, especially as we're in a stage 3 drought. I know she just mentioned that this was done around 2019, but this is the current reality we are dealing with. This plan moved forward with little to no public input, especially from local residents, surrounding residents, and environmental groups. People deserve a seat at the table when decisions this large are being made, decisions that will affect our water, air, quality of life for decades. Industrial expansion will require enormous amounts of water, electricity, potentially driving up utility costs for residents at a time when every drop of water already matters. Nowhere in this plan is there any mention of the ongoing stage 3 drought. I know, as you mentioned, this was done in 2019, or a clear strategy for how this growth will be supported without further straining the region's already limited water source. I'm also worried about health and safety risk. Industrial facilities can and do have accidents, and when they're close to homes, that risk becomes personal. We need to remember that we live along a major bird migration flyway. Industrial development threatens the wetlands and habitats that countless species depend on. We should be good stewards of the land and the wildlife that make this region special. I urge the council to pause and reconsider this plan, bring the public into the process, assess true costs, and make sure this growth here is smart, sustainable, and safe. Thank you, and I know you answered some of those questions already.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I mean, if you have a question, I'll try to answer it.
Yes, anybody else like to
Anybody
speak
else?
on it?
Sure. I'm not in control of that.
You know the procedure.
Yeah, right.
Well, my name is Dennis Peacock, and my concern is that I've never had a successful condition of counties being involved other than with our ETJs within our charters. We operate by charter. We just had charter discussion. I remember you there. But at the same time, I've only lost money with conditions of county. When it came to cities, they had definite historical background, and that's what I could work with. Planting rules, for example. Planting gives us an opportunity to subdivide and develop. You can do that in the county. Lincoln Park in Dayton County, for example. Lincoln Park is well developed now, but it came about as a matter of trying to change the county to a wet condition rather than being dry within a university county, or city in that case. North Texas University, Texas Women's University. These areas became wet by putting mobile homes within a development that in turn created alcoholic need and interest because of dance halls following with alcoholic changes. A person who was a student saw his girlfriend being danced by a deputy, interfered with the involvement, and ended up being hit with a blackjack and died. That altered the whole scheme of things within the county. So Denton has developed differently within its county, but you can make improvements in a county area, along with the ETJ of cities. They do work together.
I
The
think
problem
what you're
is-
talking about, Dennis, is the
Pardon?
amount of people that'll bring in here, the workers and all of that.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
I think what you're talking about is the amount of people it'll bring in here, the workers, the builders and all of that.
In terms of
The
inflation,
mobile homes and everything that they're living in, man camps, stuff like that. Same as the oil fields, correct?
yeah, it gets rough.
I know what
If
you,
that's what you're asking me, yes, it does.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, you should. You've been in the police department.
Well, I know
I'm
what
sure
happened
you
in the
do.
oil fields and like Odessa and Midland area right now with all the man camps everywhere and the issues that it has caused all the cities over in West Texas and eastern New Mexico.
Yeah.
This will bring that type of I'm not gonna say
Involvement.
problem, but it can become a problem
Yes, sir.
with all of the builders and people coming in to do the work, and then they pretty much screw up a town and leave.
Yeah. And as a character of this community and how it's been in its history, is when you had the shrimping industry, although I'm not against the shrimping industry, the conditions were that it was creating too much of a problem for the community interest and therefore was pushed out. I didn't stop the economic development, it's just not as strong as it was during those times. I deal with different counties, and I've never had success where it came to automatic changes within the industry becoming economically viable. It's caused inflation, which creates depression or recession. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But at least you were in the charter revision. We had environmental concerns. We had county concerns with our taxes. Everything that works together is historic in terms of its proof and environmental development. We all work together. So I'll leave you alone.
All right.
I'm just talking because my background has been planning and land development, and I'm just not favorable to the idea of change like that. I stick more with history, because history proves itself. If it's necessary to get rid of the 3 pyramids of Giza, I'm sure that will happen. Hopefully it doesn't.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mr.
Dennis.
Dennis.
Mayor, I have a question. So signing this, what benefit does it bring to Aransas Pass when, if you look on the map, it shows that our growth would be municipal growth? So what will this do for Aransas Pass specifically?
I think you would just be part of the voice that is encouraging the county to be a little bit more careful in their planning efforts. It's not going to change what you do in your city, your charter, your rights to mandate what goes in your city is not going to change with this plan. That's not the idea behind it. It's just we are trying to kind of talk with a common voice to say, county, San Patricio County, we want you to be a little bit more responsible, have some kind of planning document that we can refer to. Doesn't mean that it's going to, if an industry's going to come in, they're going to come in.
Right.
Whether the county has a plan or doesn't have a plan. I mean, obviously, they haven't had a plan for how many ever years they've been in existence. And
that's
look at the
actually-
industry that we have in San Pat County.
And that's actually very scary. So considering,
It is when you think about it.
yeah, it's very scary. So considering the scariness of this resolution and the uncertainty that we're living in today, and the fact that we would like Aransas Pass to remain a fishing community and not a major industrial city and affect everything from our fishing to our birds and everything else that goes with it, I have no choice right now than to make a motion to deny approving the resolution supporting the San Patricio County Industrial Growth Plan, urging San Patricio County Commissioners Court to adopt a plan, incorporate its recommendations into the county economic development policy. I just don't see how, as a city council, we can do that.
And that's perfectly fine. That's your prerogative as a city. You can choose to do that.
We'll see what they say.
Okay,
I actually have another question.
Go ahead.
When I'm looking at the map and it shows all the areas y'all have picked, is that saying that then industry could go, ultimately it could fill all those spots in the county? Because with that, is it just, I'm just really nervous that this is making a pathway that it's saying all of this is okay.
No, because
would industry still be turned down if they came into these areas? They're ideal for whatever it is, and then, eventually those spots are gonna fill up, and then we're gonna only have so much left of that area, and they just keep filling up. If all of this that y'all have, the areas you have picked end up being industry, Sam Pat is like all, I can't even imagine what that does to our environment around here.
I don't think they have picked or chosen that industry is going to go to these places. What they're trying to depict on the map is what is Aransas Pass's responsibility? What is Ingleside's responsibility? What is Portland's responsibility?
Right.
And all the areas outside of the 9 cities, actually 10, because Lake City has something.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of those areas, the county has jurisdiction. But their jurisdiction is very limited. It's not the same as what the cities
Right.
have available to them. So I don't know that, I mean,
But a lot of
any
this is county
recruiter
property.
can, right,
is what
any recruiter can get
I'm
on
worried
Google
about.
Maps and say, where are the
Yeah.
city boundaries? Where are the county
It
boundaries?
doesn't matter if we sign or not, somebody can come by in the county
Which
anyway.
I
and
agree,
do
but
industrial.
I feel like this is like for industries like, I mean, there's a map out there that says, hey, come here, put right here, this is where we want
Yeah.
you, we've given you 100,000
Yeah.
acres.
Yeah.
And I don't wanna give them 100,000 acres because I happen to like
Wait,
our
wait.
wetlands and our birds and our eco life, and I've already
Our
seen
little
what some
coastal
of
community.
irresponsible development has done in the city, and we're tiny compared to the rest of
Well,
the
right.
county.
Mayor, there is
Now,
a,
we
there is a
got- we
motion
got a
on the floor.
on the
Right now,
floor.
right now.
Do we got a second?
Stop.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, now moving into consideration of a request from the Rialto Theater to hold a car and motorcycle toy drive on Sunday, November 9th, 2025, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Mayor, Council, for the record, Councilmember Luana Martin has filed a conflict of interest form, and she will not be participating or voting on this item.
Okay, thank you. It's all yours, Steve.
All right. Mayor, city council members, on October 24th and 25th, the Rialto Theater will be having our 3rd annual Haunted Maze, which is also the start of Sergeant Dennis Anders' Cops for Tops toy drive. This brings me to the reason why I'm here tonight. Sergeant Anders always had a car show to help raise toys for his toy drive. So we're asking permission to have a car and motorcycle show on Sunday, November 9th, and actually, we've changed the time from 10 to 3.
Okay.
So did I miss anything? Are you gonna close off these streets?
No, we're not closing off any, because it's a Sunday. Nobody's open but us.
Do you even need our permission?
What's that?
I was like, if you're not closing the street, do we even?
Well,
It-
it's
this is
just
Just a
Courtesy.
courtesy,
yeah.
yes.
Well, thank you. Very nice of you.
I make a motion to consider
Somebody do it.
the consideration of a request from the Rialto Theater to hold a car and motorcycle toy drive on Sunday, November 9th. Time change of 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, we've got a motion on the floor. We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, thank
fun.
you, Steve. Hang on. Let me go get her.
I just
Got her?
Do we have all this still? I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Mary, so we take like a little 5-minute break?
Sure. Okay. Mayor, you want to call for a 5-minute recess?
Well, that's different. Okay, 5-minute recess.
Okay,
Haven't done that before.
Yeah, I go, do we?
to consider and act on approving a memorandum of understanding between the Aransas Pass Police Department and the Rockport Police Department to provide assistance or receive assistance to each agency for conducting criminal investigations and/or deployment of police K-9 units for searches, tracking, or other law enforcement purposes.
Mayor, council, recently I was approached by Chief Nathan Anderson with the Rockport Police Department. He said that him and the former chief, Eric Ranford, have been talking about getting a memo of understanding between both agencies for cooperation in K-9 operations and major criminal investigations to get more resources if needed. He filled out the memo of understanding. He sent it through his legal, and then went through their council. They approved it. I received it, sent it through our legal. He looked at it and he was good with it. And now I'm asking the council and you, Mayor, to sign it to allow us to do a memo of understanding with them. We have used their dog. Probably, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, somewhere in the last couple of weeks, where we did get some narcotics out of a vehicle. A good tool. Unfortunately, we don't have one at this point. We are moving forward on that. So soon we will have a K-9 unit. But as of right now, today, we do not, and we would like to have a memo of understanding.
This pretty much is like an interlocal agreement, like no cost or anything to the city.
Sir?
No cost to the city. It's pretty much like an interlocal agreement.
If we were called over to them to assist with a major criminal investigation, we would cover the cost of that and then work the same with them when we call their K-9 over or they come over here, their city's paying for it as well.
Okay, all right, thanks, Chief. Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to consider an act on approving a memorandum of understanding between the Aransas Pass Police Department and the Rockport Police Department to provide assistance or receive assistance to each agency for conducting criminal investigations and/or deployment of police K-9 units for searches, tracking, and other law enforcement purposes.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now moving into consider an act to award the contract for bank depository services to Prosperity Bank for a 3-year period with 2 one-year options for renewal.
Hi, good evening. Prosperity Bank was the only bank that submitted a proposal for us. We have been with the bank since even
Ever.
before
Yeah.
I got here. The city does have a very good business relationship with the bank. They're very on top of our deposits, anything that happens with our accounts. It's a very good business relationship, and I would like to continue that relationship if possible.
You got it. Okay, do we have a motion?
Make a motion, we consider an act to award the contract for bank depository services to Prosperity Bank for a 3-year period with 2 one-year options for renewal.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, consider an act on approving the closing of the boat ramps at Combine Harbor by 5 p.m. and using Harbor Point Park for trunk or treat on October 24, 2025.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. This will be our 10th annual trunk or treat. So we just need permission to close the regular streets we usually close. We'll be basically just allowing trunks to come over. People bring candy. We'll just have a trunk or treat. We usually have probably like 500 to 800 kids show up in the night, throughout the night. So that's what we're asking, to close out the boat ramp so we can make sure everybody's safe. We can put up our photo booths and our tractors. We have a little hayride as well. So.
What tractors?
He got you on that one.
It's Halloween. To be scary, we have to have tall grass. So
That's the scary part.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
The whole town.
Okay.
Do the boaters get notified ahead of time? Are there signs or something
Correct,
posted
yeah.
so that they
Yeah,
know?
and social media as well.
Okay.
Have y'all ever had any issues? No?
No.
Everyone knows?
This will be my third trunk or treat, and we haven't had issues.
Awesome.
I think everybody's already used to the routine.
Okay.
But there will be signs on site posted, boat ramp closed at 5 today?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the closing of the boat ramps at Con Brown Harbor by 5 p.m. and using Harbor Point Park for trunk or treat on October 24th, 2025.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yes, I do. David, if you need some grass to make hay bales out of, I know where plenty is.
This guy's got jokes.
You'll leave you alone about that one.
Yeah.
Our baler, I think, is down too.
That's probably- yeah, that's my luck.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now moving into consider and act on issuance of a request for proposals for hot mix for Lighthouse Lakes Improvement Project.
Yeah, this should sum up this Lighthouse Lakes project. We got some solar lights out there. We got some new little picnic tables with the coverings on there. The kayak ramp is complete. The bathroom just got delivered, so I believe, I'm not sure if it's fully functional now, but I know that it should be in place. So the last step will be to pave the trails. So that way, when we park and people drive through, at least we'll have decent roads to go along with the improvements.
And I guess everybody else watching knows that this is covered with that donation we got from the port, from the grant. Okay, all right, okay. Do we have a motion?
Just a second. I'll make a motion that we consider and act on proposal for the hot mix Lighthouse Lakes Improvement Project, but I have a question also.
Okay. We got go ahead,
Are
Randy.
we gonna have some way of securing this bathroom so we don't end up like the ones at the harbor?
Oh, locking them probably.
Yeah, I
what you're
believe they are
saying.
lockable, so we're gonna have to have people monitor them. I know we're gonna have to, since they're glorified, well, they have a vault in the bottom, so we're gonna have to like vacuum the waste from it, but we are gonna have to monitor, make sure it's locked at night and open up in the morning.
Probably be a time to maybe look at a couple cameras, I would think.
And how
That
often
doesn't do
will you
any good.
vacuum the waste?
When the men ask for it. So we'll just monitor it. We're not exactly sure how often we're gonna do it yet, but we're gonna monitor it. And we do have the equipment to vacuum it ourselves,
Okay.
if need be.
David,
And,
if we can, let's see if we can figure out a way to monitor it before it happens this time, instead of expending that money to fix it again,
Sure.
like the other ones were.
Okay, just for clarification, this memo is just to get permission to go out to advertise for hot mix. I know we're
Yeah.
talking about the bathroom quite a bit, but to stay on topic, this
Yeah.
is just permission to advertise for hot mix. We're not gonna pave yet. We still need to go out for bids, receive the sealed bids, still bring it forward to the mayor and council for the final approval.
I'll second Randy's motion.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now moving into consider and act on issuance of a request for proposals for piping materials for Jackson Place Drainage Project. That's a long one in the making.
Yeah, this is probably over a year in the
Yeah.
making. Yeah, we had some drainage issues. This is actually on the county property, but it affects directly our residents, so we took the steering wheel, took control of this project. We got the engineering done. It's right up our wheelhouse. We should be able to do it in-house. We already had a contractor clear up the whole right-of-way that we're gonna install the pipe on. But at this point, all we need is just permission to go out for bids and advertise. And once the material price come in, we'll bring it forward again for your approval.
And I think, wasn't this already budgeted previously or no?
The county is reimbursing our
Oh, the drainage
expenses.
district is?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Not the drainage district, I'm sorry, not county.
Okay,
Where's Jackson Place?
that's down Beasley,
Okay.
almost
Yeah.
to Mooney.
So this
I
drainage
remember
will
that
actually
now.
connect Saunders to commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve, where am I at, sorry? For on the issuance of a request for proposals for piping materials for Jackson Place Drainage Project.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay,
Thank you,
now
David.
consider an act on the annual fall feast on November 20th, 2025, and award Butter Churn Restaurant the catering bid in the amount of $11,625.00 to prepare and serve the meal.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It is that time of year again. The item before you does technically two things. It issues the date for the fall feast for this year. Traditionally, that is 1 week prior to Thanksgiving, and so that's the date selected. We received 3 total quotes for this event. One from Max Barbecue, totaling a little over $11,000. The second quote was from Beauty and the Bistro, and that was for $21,375. But they did offer a $1,500 nonprofit discount, so that brought that total down to $19,875. And then lastly, we had Butter Churn Restaurant, and their total was $11,625. They do apply a $3,000 discount, bringing the total to actually $8,625. That's why they're the ones we're requesting for approval.
What was that number again?
The final cost, $8,625.
Okay, thank you.
We ask everyone that we approach for a quote to bid basically the same package, which is roughly 750 people, a 2-hour dinner service. We do ask for 2 proteins, 2 sides, roll, cookie, tea, and water, so that way we have a consistency in what the quote would consist of. And so this was what we got back, and if you can imagine, that cost per person is really high. And last year and the year before that and the year before that, we actually served over 750. But we do go out because of cost. We say 750. Historically, Butter Churn has served the last few years. They have not added an additional cost to that. We are able, of course, to help whoever we select by offsetting some of the labor with an incredible number of volunteers every year, and we could not do it without them. So we request approval for this year's show.
How are you guys funding it this year? Did you seek out some donations again?
Thank you for bringing that up. This is an event that the city does budget every year. We do try to offset as much of that as possible through sponsorships. Right now, I know that we have 2 or 3 confirmed sponsorships. I had a meeting today with some internal promotions to try to get some more sponsorships. So we do always try to go out. A couple years ago, sponsorships were a lot easier had, and we actually had it almost 100% covered through sponsorships. So yes, sir, we do seek those.
Okay, all right, thank you, Caitlin.
And I did want to mention, this is always a free community meal. This is something that the city furnishes as an amenity. There's actually, while everyone in the community is invited, there's a lot of community members who this is their hot holiday meal for Thanksgiving. So it's a beautiful evening.
Yep.
What time does it start?
Doors open at 5. Program starts at 5:10, and dinner is served at 5:30.
Okay.
What is you said the cost is $8,625. You've got on here $11,625.
Yes, sir. I apologize. That was
The corrected number is
$3,000 discount.
$8,625.
Okay.
I make a motion to consider an act on the annual fall feast on November 20th, 2025, and award Butter Churn Restaurant the catering bid in the amount of, corrected amount, $8,625 to
Okay.
prepare and serve the meal.
I have a question before we
Sure.
so if you raise the money through donations and sponsorships, what happens to that $8,625? Does it go back into the budget?
Yes, ma'am. It would just retain, probably as an end-of-year adjustment.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Now consider act on approving a memorandum of understanding for emergency services between the Aransas Pass Independent School District and the City of Aransas Pass for an additional 5 years expiring November 10th, 2030.
Mayor and Council, this is another routine item. So every year, or I'm sorry, 5 years at a time, we have a memorandum of understanding between us and the Aransas Pass School District. We are their coordinated reunification site, and so this is just the formality of keeping that agreement intact. Basically what that means is we're agreeing that an emergency situation would take precedence at the Civic Center if one should arise, and we do periodic checks, we do periodic run-throughs to make sure that everyone is on the same page. So far it has been no issue with the school district. It's been a great relationship.
Okay.
The only cost that it could incur, is potentially if we were to, need to furnish staff to do a tear down suddenly, that kind of thing, which we would absorb internally.
Yeah. Okay. All right, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to consider an act on approving a memorandum of understanding for emergency services between the Aransas Pass Independent School District and the City of Aransas Pass for an additional 5 years expiring November 10th, 2030.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're going to go into executive session, and we have one item, it's the Texas Government Code, Section 551-074, to deliberate the appointment, employment, and duties of the city secretary, and it is 7:17 p.m.
not when you turn that on.
No, hell no. I'll never read that. I'll screw it all up.
The mic's on.
That's all right. You know me. Okay, we ready? Okay, we're gonna reconvene in open session at 7:42. And we're going to take action on the appointment and employment of the city secretary. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve Sal Hernandez as city secretary at an annual salary of $83,000 and a phone allowance of $60 a month, effective October 27th, 2025.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Sal, welcome aboard.
Yep. And with that
welcome.
being
Yes.
said, meeting adjourned.
Good.
Yeah, and next time, don't do the Randy hearing.
What?
Forget